Hotep, Black Power, giving honor to the Creator, giving honor to the ancestors, giving honor always to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in-laws, and all the comrades that are in the ancestral realm as we speak. And also, you know, another shout out to the ancestors as well. Today is a special day for me. Today is my sister's born day. She's been an ancestor for the past 4 months and some change, and you know, I like to give her honors and give her respect and allow her to, you know, enjoy her day. So, you know, and I really miss my sister. I truly miss my sister who practically raised me. She was more of a soldier, had just as much heart as the average man, you know, and very, very strong queen. And you know, it's a lot of the things that we've done together as brother and sister, you know, as a team, you know, our struggles, our hardships, you know, and the laughter, you know, even laughing during times of excruciating emotional and mental pain, you know. So, and I miss her dearly because at times, you know how when she left, a part of me left as well, you know, as well as the Chief of Staff, Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers. So I'm in celebration mode right now, you know. Although, you know, our hearts bleed and we mourn, which will last forever, but at the same time, you know, we honor, you know, and we glory ourselves, you know, into, you know, the strong sister. I was thankful to the Creator for providing a sister like that for me, you know, to give me guidance, to give me strength. You know, as a child playing football, being young, you know, seeing her face and, you know, my mother's and you know, my father's, you know, it was a big motivation. It would make me run the ball harder, and, you know, it just gave me a lot of heart. So, you know, and, you know, she had some very, very, you know, trying times in her life, you know, but she managed to deal with them. She always dealt with them. She was never a runner, and, you know, I call on her energy constantly, you know, and, you know, it's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that, you know, that she comes to see me in my, you know, in the dreams periodically, you know, just to make sure I'm all right, you know, and to give me strength and energy, you know. And one thing I used to love about her, she was excellent on telling me, like, if a sister was interested in me, she would tell me whether that sister was all right or whether they weren't. And most of the time, you know, I'll say 99 out of 100 times she was right. So, and I let you know that 99 out of 100 she would tell me not to, you know, get involved with. So, you know, but I truly miss her, you know. And, you know, as well as my father, you know, may y'all, you know, as y'all make y'all travels and your journeys, continue to look out for me. You know, that's all I ask, you know, until our energies, you know, meet up one day. You know, we know that the physical bodies will not ever meet, but in different forms we'll meet, you know. And that gives me hope, that gives me strength, that gives me courage, you know. And I know she's proud of me right now as I, you know, do these videos. And as she watched me transform, you know, from being in the street, banging, doing a lot of things that I wasn't supposed to, you know, going to prison, doing a long prison sentence, and coming home, you know, and being where I'm at today, you know, so, you know, I'm so grateful for you, and I thank you. Hotep, Black Power. Now let me get to the topics now. 25-year-old Richard Hubbard III was severely beaten by Ohio police on a routine traffic stop. Once again, I keep telling y'all, this shit is not going to stop. It's not going to. That Charlottesville, see, you have to understand two reasons. One is because the Charlottesville situation was just a decoy and a throw-off for something else that's going on. And our people are too green and too slow to keep up with this motherfucking cracker, man. You know, here's another brother beaten within inches of his life by an Ohio policeman Monday, right after the protest. And I'll tell you why, once again, because they know that we're not going to respond. We're not going to respond. It's just that simple. You know, then you have this old faggot, Derek Johnson, who's the head of the NAACP, who now he wants to have a press conference. This is after the Charlottesville incident. And see, where were you, motherfuckers, when they were fighting down there? You wait till you think the smoke is clear, and now you want to hold this press conference and play like you are actually about doing something, you know, to the injustices that take place in the black community. You all have a history of just being, you know, first of all, let me do this for people who don't know. The NAACP was founded by a white Jew, Arthur Spengler. The purpose of the NAACP was to counter the UNIA led by Marcus Garvey. So they used W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington, these Negroes who were bougie Negroes at the time, to go against Garvey and side with Gay Edgar Hoover and the FBI. He was 25 years old. Gay Edgar Hoover, that was his first major case, was the Marcus Garvey case, bringing Marcus Garvey down. And so with the help of W.E.B. Du Bois and Hooker T. Washington, because he was prostituting himself on a political level to all the Jews. So Hooker T. Washington, you know, and W.E.B. Du Bois, you know, prostituted themselves on a political level, became political prostitutes for the so-called white imposter Jew, Arthur Spengler, by giving these false leadership roles as lead heads of the NAACP back in the 1920s. And so and here it is, 2017, 100 and something years later, you still calling yourselves colored. That lets you know you're not allowed to change the name. It's just that simple. To the Jew, you're still colored and a Negro. That's all it's saying. And now you wait till after the fighting, after brothers and sisters were beaten within inches of their life by these ice apes down in Charlottesville. Now you want to make this big press conference. So the whole setup is so you can get funding from white liberals and and white conservatives to pretend like you're gonna be straightening out the injustices that took place. But you have already were paid off Friday for not showing up for Saturday and Sunday. Oh, everybody's not sleeping, and you coons are gonna pay for this shit. You know, it's like Al Sharpton and the rest of you coons. You know, here's Sharpton, the National Action Network. You know, you're just a gatekeeper. You're just a gatekeeper of white supremacy and keep all the other blacks at a subordinate level. You know, here you are strutting down the street, you know, the other day with the Gardner family, Irv Gardner's mother and wife, you know, because of the $4 million wrongful death settlement that you received. But it's really $6 million, $5.9 million, but you get the 1.9. You know, just like you got, you know, they can. You was supposed to be holding this thing about this 1,000 pastors marching in Washington, called the Dream Busters. You know, and half of the pastors are homosexuals. So you really need to call them cream busters. You know, and then there's gatekeepers like you know, niggas like you, pork chop eating, you know, a perm wearing faggots like you know, for your birthday, you got $1 million cash for your fucking birthday, at your birthday party. You know, but our brothers and sisters are out here, you know, being slaughtered, you know, fighting, you know, white supremacists, you know, and the like. You know, you, Cory Booker, Cornell Mess, all of you the same. All of you the same. You're in the back pockets of the so-called white imposter Jew. And you think everybody is asleep. But it's some of us that are wide awoke, and we're educated, and we're on top of you motherfucking niggas, because you're more dangerous than the devils. Now, it's the same situation with you know, before I close in on this you know, this Charlottesville shit, you know, because I'm not gonna allow that to distract me. You know, what's the governor, Terry McAuliffe, you know, who is a eugenics and a conservative white supremacist. You know, you didn't hear too much about him. See, when the smoke clears, that's when you begin to see, you know, all these niggas, you know, and these crackers come out of the woodwork. You know, and the same thing with you know, Colin Kaepernick still hasn't been picked up yet. You know, but you know, and then someone said he's the Muhammad Ali of this decade. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. You know, I have nothing for love for the brother, but he's no Muhammad Ali in terms of standing up, because Muhammad Ali went to the Supreme Court. He took it to the Supreme Court, you know, because there's a lot of politics surrounding this Colin Kaepernick thing too, you know, because of the fact that, you know, he's no Craig Hodges, you know, or no Tommy Smith and John Carlos, you know, or Abdul Muhammad Rauf. You know, that played basketball. He was the first one that refused to stand up, you know, in the 90s for the national, you know, the national anthem, you know. But to say Colin Kaepernick is on the level of Muhammad Ali in terms of standing up and fighting oppression, no. Kaepernick, if you to get to that level, you need to go high, far higher than you're at now. Yeah, it's okay to have the bush and have your fists up, You know, but Ali, like I said, once again, Ali went to the Supreme Court and lost his license for 3 years. The best 3 years of his life. Dealt with hundreds of death threats. And this was during the time, you know, where Dr. King, you know, and Malcolm were alive. You know. But at the same time, another reason why it's not, you can't make no comparisons is because, give me a second. Yeah, brothers and sisters, sorry for the interruption. But like I was saying about Colin Kaepernick, you know how you cannot put him on the same level as a Muhammad Ali, based on the fact that Muhammad Ali went to the Supreme Court. And also, Ali had serious other athletes behind him, you know, such as Jim Brown, Bobby Mitchell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and others that were willing to sacrifice their endorsements, you know, to stand up for something and go head on with the establishment of the NFL. So there's no comparison with that. And that takes nothing away from Colin Kaepernick for standing up, which I admire and respect him. You know, but at the same time, don't, you know, yeah, I forgot where I was at. I apologize for the long break. But I believe I was on Colin Kaepernick, Muhammad Ali, and the people who stood with Muhammad Ali when he went and took his charge to the Supreme Court. Now, Colin Kaepernick, once again, like I say, I respect him. I love him for everything that he's standing up for. But however, if you want to go ahead and pursue this thing, you know, go to the Supreme Court, you know, because you're not on the same pedestal as Muhammad Ali at this point. Not with this situation, anyway. You know, you got to look at John Carlos, Tommy Smith. What happened to them? They were banned forever for standing up, holding their fists at the Olympics. The same with Sharif Muhammad, what's his name? Muhammad Abdul Rauf for the NBA. He done the same thing that you done. And he was banned from basketball, literally. Craig Hodges, when he told Michael Jordan that he was just another nigga to the motherfucking Crackers when they were at the White House, when they won the championship. Craig Hodges, you know, was blackballed from the NBA, in which he later joined the Nation of Islam. So, you know, let's be clear about some stuff. You know, the same thing with I give J. Cole his props too, because J. Cole was blasting every any of these bougie Negroes, and especially the rappers that went against Colin Kaepernick. J. Cole was blasting their ass. And a shout out in the Black Power to brother J. Cole. You know, I listen to your music, brother. You know, you do your best, you know, to keep it real and to keep it 100. And I respect you for that, you know, because I know what you're up against. What I want to also talk about is, you know, this brother, Robert Yancy, you know, who, I want to, give send my condolences to the family, the remaining family of the Natalie Cole estate for, the loss of her son, Robert Yancy, 39 years old, who made his ascension from an apparent heart attack. You know, Robert Yancy, who's also the grandson of Nat King Cole. You know, and want to send our condolences and our hoteps and Black Power to the remaining family of the Natalie Cole estate. And Natalie Cole, who was nobody's revolutionary. However, you know, she tried to do whatever it took to be as a gifted of a singer and entertainer as was her father, the great legendary Nat King Cole. By no means of the stretch of the imagination was Nat King Cole a revolutionary or radical or conscious by no stretch of the imagination. It's still questionable on as to how he was one of the first Negroes to get a TV show, you know, in the late 40s, early 50s, you know. But nevertheless, they are our ancestors, and we must, you know, honor our ancestors, you know. So, once again, to the family of the Natalie Cole estate, you know, to the loss and the ascension of her son, her only child, Brother Robert Yancy, 39 years old, who Monday made his ascension of an apparent heart attack. You know, drugs and alcohol has been excluded from the investigation. You know, and that's a good thing. You know, so we wish them the best. We wish the brother, you know, that, you know, he links up with his mother and grandfather, you know, and they travel in the universe as ancestors, as a unit. So, we also want to give a hotep and a Black Power to, you know, brother. Most of you don't even know, and a lot of you in the conscious community may not ever even heard of Brother Carlos A. Cooks, who was an extension of the UNIA when Brother Marcus Garvey made his ascension and became an ancestor. Carlos Cooks, who was here in Harlem, continued the legacy of Marcus Garvey, you know, all the way into the 60s, the late 60s. But the following of Carlos Cooks was nowhere near in comparison to the following of the UNIA, you know, the same way as Elombe Brath. A lot of people have never heard of this brother, you know, and a lot of times I will break a lot of stuff down to you all, but sometimes, you know, I leave it to you all to do the necessary research that needs to be done to you know, to have a better understanding and your perception of our ancestors, opposed to just me telling you, you know, my version based on my research about particular ancestors. So in other words, I'm not telling y'all about every motherfucking body. Y'all have to do some fucking work yourselves. You know. So, and something else that I was going to save for my next newspaper article. And my next newspaper was the situation about the Trayvon Martin situation. I had told you all in a recent video about how these crackers, you know, have a YouTube site where it's called Trayvoning, where they lay down with Skittles in their hands and you know, Arizona iced tea and all this bullshit with a hoodie on in the grass. And they also make their animals do that. But however, as if you read my paper, you already know that Trayvon Martin was a Masonic ritual sacrifice by his father. And the truth be told, not to take nothing away from Trayvon Martin, you know, but we all know what the Skittles are used for. You know, for those who don't, a lot of the young people know they're used in what they call a lean, a drink called a lean, where they use the codeine and Benadryl and all that shit, and then they put the Skittles in it, you know, with the 7-Up soda and drink it. That's just another extension of the scissor shit that was, you know, really promoted by Pimp C, you know, and 3 6 Mafia in the mid and late 90s. Sorry for the interruption, but you know, Trayvon Martin, there's no secret that he was going to the store to get the Skittles in Arizona to make his little hookup. Now, the Skittles also is a product and a promotional candy of the LGBT community. Now, what is the slogan? What is the slogan that they use? The taste, taste the flavor, or taste the rainbow. Taste the rainbow. You know, and it's all these different colors of the rainbow of the LGBT community as well. If you look at the package of the Skittles, where you will see where it says sex, where it says explosion, you'll see the word sex, clear as day. And that Taste the Rainbow, they're talking about the LGBT community. That's why Skittles is the trademark candy of the LGBT community. So, you know, let's not be fooled by a lot of the shit that's going on. You know, these people play a lot of fucking games. A lot of games. You know, don't be distracted. You know, anytime they do something that's on Fox News that has worldwide media attention, that means that something else is going on. You know, stop letting these motherfucking crackers put y'all in the trick bag. They do it all day long. Even with our politicians. You know, I heard of one of these old homosexual, bisexual ass a government employee, black government employee, no facial hair, no back pockets, tight motherfucking slacks, pointy shoe, pink necktie wearing faggot. Say, yeah, well, it's not all that racist because we got Cory Booker in the Senate. How the fuck you think Cory Booker come from being a New Jersey mayor to the fucking in the Senate? First of all, he's a goddamn a Rhodes Scholar like Bill Clinton and Kurt Smoke. Cause any black person you see that's a Rhodes Scholar is danger to the black community. If you know what who Cecil Rhodes was, Cecil Rhodes was sent as part of a Masonic ritual in London and England to colonize Africa, where he used to take his sword every morning and split an African child in half. Now, Cecil Rhodes left about 50 different wills Masonic wheels. He left millions and millions and millions of dollars to various institutions for them to uphold the system of racism, white supremacy, and colonial imperialism in the continent of Africa. Because you had Cecil Rhodes that was taking over the diamonds. You had the De Beers and the Oppenheimers. And then you had the Rockefellers. They were taking oil, diamonds, and gold from the continent of Africa. Now you have Asians, so-called Asians, Koreans and Chinks going over to Africa taking cobalt. Cobalt is the most precious and most expensive mineral on the planet. And that's what they make these iPhones and all these satellites and, you know, all these drones and all these nuclear warheads, because of the mineral cobalt, which is a precious, priceless mineral. The average flight going over to Africa is 95 cents Asian. Excuse me. Now, what I'm trying to get across to black people is, you know, that we have to take charge of our own destiny. You know, we're going to have to stand up and fight the system of racism, white supremacy. It's just that simple. You know, if you look at a dog, you know, a dog wags his tail. The tail don't wag the dog. You know, and we have to understand that we have to take charge and go ahead and deal with the system of racism, white supremacy. Because let me break this down to y'all. The reason they're having these little rallies and protests, because they want to create a climate to see how many grassroots militant organizations there are in the black community, because they already know what the white community has. They have over 1,000 militia groups in the mountains of Montana, Colorado, Washington State, Oregon, and beyond. Over 1,000. That means you're looking at 100,000 white motherfucking devils that are armed to the goddamn teeth, that the government and these crackers do not fuck with. You never hear the ATF. You never hear FEMA. You never hear none of these motherfucking Homeland Security dealing with these motherfuckers. But every time you see National Geographic, they're always pointing out on